Class, today we will start chapter 3 in physics, that is energy. Students, as you all know that to perform any kind of work, you need energy. Without energy, we can't be able to perform any work. So, in order to do some work, we need to spend some energy. Just like when we go to the stationery shop to purchase books, we need to spend some money. To buy more quantity of books, we need to spend more money, and to buy less quantity of books, we need to spend less money. So in the same way, more energy is required to do more work and less energy is required to do less amount of work. For example, you can say that to run 10 meter, we need more energy, and to run 5 meter, we need less energy. So what is energy? Energy is the capacity of a body to do work, and the SI unit of energy is joule. Joule is a small unit, so its multiple is kilojoule, which is a bigger unit. Another units of energy is calorie, and calorie is the unit of heat energy. It is a small unit. Calorie is a small unit, so kilocalorie is used as a multiple of calorie. Next is forms of energy. There are many forms of energy, means energy exists in many forms, and each form of energy can be transferred from one form to another, means the forms of energy can be transferred from one form to another form. So first of all, let us discuss about the forms of energy. The first is mechanical energy. The energy possessed by a body due to work done on it is known as mechanical energy. And when work is done on the object or on a body? When the force is applied on any object, and due to that applied force, the object gets displaced. In that condition, work is said to be done. So work is the product of force and displacement. You can write work is equal to force and displacement. Means work is the product of force and displacement. So when force is applied on the object, due to this applied force, the object gets displaced. In that condition, the work is said to be done. Or in other words, you can say that energy gained by a body due to its state of motion or due to its position is known as mechanical energy. For example, when you lift a stone from the ground, your body supplies the force which raises the height of the stone from the ground. Means to lift the stone from the ground, you need to apply some force on it. When you apply some force, and that applied force raises the height of the stone. Means when you apply some force on the stone, this stone gets displaced. This force raises the height of the stone. Now it is the condition when work is said to be done. Means you applied force, and due to that applied force, the stone gets displaced. It is said that work is done. And while doing this work, your body spends some energy, and that energy spent by your body is gained by the stone. Means when you applied some force on the stone, your body spends some energy, and that energy is gained by the stone. So this energy possessed by the stone is due to the work done on it. So it is a mechanical energy. And mechanical energy is of two types: kinetic energy and potential energy. So energy of the body due to its motion is called kinetic energy, and energy possessed by a body due to its position is known as potential energy. Let us discuss about the kinetic and potential energy. The next is kinetic energy. The kinetic energy of a body is the energy possessed by it due to its state of motion or movement. When any object possesses energy due to the motion, when it is in the moving condition, when it is moving, in that condition the energy possessed by that body is kinetic energy at the time of movement. All moving things have kinetic energy. Example, a child riding a bicycle, a moving bus when bus is moving, a moving swing, flowing water, moving air, flowing off or falling of water from the dam is the example of kinetic energy. In this, a child riding a bicycle, it applied some force, and due to that force, it applied some force on the pedal, and due to that force this bicycle gets displaced. So the work is done here, and the work is done due to the state of motion. So in this condition it possesses kinetic energy. Next is potential energy. Potential energy of a body is the energy possessed by it by virtue of its position. Means when any object possesses energy due to its position, that energy is called potential energy. In it is due to its position, but in kinetic energy the energy possessed due to the motion or movement, it is kinetic energy, and when it is due to the position it is potential energy. Example of potential energy is a compressed spring, a hammer at a height, a stressed rubber band. These all possess potential energy. Potential energy is of two types: gravitational potential energy and elastic potential energy. The potential energy associated with the height or due to its raised position is known as gravitational potential energy. This is because work has to be done to raise a body to certain height against the force of gravity. Means in this the work is said to be done against the force of gravity to raise a body or to raise an object. Force of gravity is the force exerted by the earth to pull any object towards its center. So when work has to be done to raise a body against the force of gravity, that is called gravitational potential energy. In this example you can see that this stone is lifted upwards, means work is done here, but that work is against the force of gravity. The force of gravity is downward direction, but it raised upwards, means it is at a certain height. So this raised stone possesses gravitational potential energy. In this figure you can see this mango, it is also at a raised height or it is also at a raised position. So it also possesses gravitational potential energy. A mango on a tree and water stored in a reservoir or a dam have potential energy owing to their height. Why they have potential energy? Because they are at a certain height. Means a mango on a tree is on a certain height, and water is stored in a reservoir or in a dam is also at a certain height. So the object that possesses energy due to its raised position or its certain height is called gravitational potential energy. Next is elastic potential energy. So the potential energy which is associated with the shape of the object, that is known as elastic potential energy. So elastic potential energy of a body is the energy that gets stored in it when the body is stressed, compressed or bent. Means in all these three conditions the energy stored in the body is elastic potential energy. Means when you stressed any object or when you compressed it or bent it, in all the three conditions its shape gets changed. When you stretch a rubber band or you stretch a catapult, its shape gets changed. Or when you compress the spring, its shape also gets changed. So when you compress, stretched or bent something, the shape of that thing gets changed. In that condition, it possesses elastic potential energy. For example, when the elastic band of a catapult is stretched, elastic potential energy gets stored in it. Means when work is done, when catapult is stretched, you applied some force on the catapult and it gets displaced. In that condition, the work is said to be done. So when the work is done on the catapult, the stored energy in the band of that catapult is elastic potential energy. And when the band is released, it can make a stone move with great speed. Why? Due to that stored energy in it. Other examples of elastic potential energy is rubber band, a coiled spring used in the watch, a stretched bow. These are the examples of elastic potential energy.